Namaskaram. Today we are remembering Shri Kavalam Narayana Panikker. When we remember his contribution as a poet, as a playwright, as a theatre director, as a coordinator who kept his company, theatre company, for a long time and produced a number of plays with his fellow artists, actors, singers, drummers in his own theatre group, Sopanam. At first it was Thiruvaranga, then Sopanam. And as a person who has contributed a lot to the art forms through, at first, Kerala Sangeet Nataka Academy, later through Central Sangeet Nataka Academy. When we consider his contributions and its amount, we are surprised to see. In the beginning of his life, when he was young, when he started involving in poetry writing, in writing lyrics for light music and also for movies, then later he started involving in theatre activities. At that time, he could not imagine that later he would be respected by the people not only in Kerala, not only in India, all over the world. That situation was entirely different at that time. But because of the passion from the depth of his heart, he totally contributed to this world, this field of activity himself, and he worked 100% in this field. So that was because of his passion, his love for theatre and its philosophy. I have experienced how Kavalam sir has worked with great theatre persons from different parts of the world. And also, I was surprised seeing his insight about the Indian dramaturgy. Personally, because I have worked with Kavalam sir for a long time, actually for a long time while he was writing his book Sopana Tattvam. I was discussing with Kavalam sir and made notes, and I made the first draft. Based on this first draft, Kavalam sir created the final draft. So the difference from this first draft to the final draft, that really gives the original thinking process of Kavalam sir. His idea, his insight about our traditional forms, about the philosophy behind the presentation of our traditional forms, that is surprising, that is so inspiring. I think for me personally, that is his contribution when, as a performer and also as a student, when I am studying our theories and other philosophical aspects, I remember Kavalam sir's interpretation for different aspects, for different terminology, for different situations, how he interprets it, how he understands. That special understanding actually helped him to create his own theatre. In the beginning of his work as a theatre person, he was a playwright, and he was already established a lyricist. He had written a number of songs at that time, very, very popular songs in Malayalam, like Khanashyama Sandhya Hridayam, like that. And also the songs in the movie, like Pularipu Manyu Tulliyil Punchiriyittu Prapancham Bharam Thanganarudade Neermani Veenadinyu. So the Vedantic philosophy is really in a very simple way, through a very beautiful metaphor, he has presented in these songs. I am going deeper into the meaning of these songs, and that is another occasion, not this occasion anyway. So, and another thing, I was saying, he started as a playwright, and then he worked with G. Aravindan, Kumarapilla, and so a number of theatre activities were there. They worked together to create a theatre atmosphere in Trivandrum and surrounding area, and from that energy, he wrote he created actually the Avanavan Kadamba, Ottayan, this kind of plays in a novel approach, in a Tanath, a 100% traditional way of presentation. He started, and all these group, they actually presented all these plays initially, then later taking the energy from this group, he has brought forward the Sanskrit plays. There comes the real contribution of the director of Kavalam Narayana Panikker, and which spread all over India. So when I was in North India, in different places, when I see people respecting him as their guru, it is surprising. For a Malayali, I became so proud to see that he was respected as a guru for them because of his Sanskrit plays, because of the presentation of his Sanskrit plays. So the energy he had to present these Sanskrit plays, the Shakuntalam, Madhyama Vyayogam. So for all these presentations of Sanskrit plays, the energy was from watching our traditional forms, our folk forms, our classical forms like Kathakali, Kudiyattam. So that helped him to conceive the Sanskrit plays in this way, to present the dhwani, the inner suggestive meaning of the play was visualized on stage. That was the methodology he was following. And I remember when he was talking about Kakarishi Nadagam, he said that from Laukikam, the genius of our great people, our ancestors, they travelled from the Laukikam. Laukikam means the day-to-day activity. From the day-to-day activity, they travelled to Lokadharmi. The Kakarishi Nadagam, Purata Nadagam, these kind of folk presentations are there, which are folk Lokadharmi forms, realistic forms, with some songs and dance, but they are realistic forms, Lokadharmi forms. From that Lokadharmi, our genius travelled to Natyadharmi, like Teyyam, Padayani, this kind of Natyadharmi presentation, 100% dance, songs, so like that, elaborate presentation. From Natyadharmi, they again travelled. Kavalam sir discovered a new term for that, that is Manodharmi. From Natyadharmi, it travelled to Manodharmi, and through Manodharmi, they presented Kathakali, Kudiyattam, like that. So you have to apply your mind, focus your mind upon these art forms and understand. Like that, his Kavalam sir's understanding about this theory. And also, I remember another occasion, we were discussing Yoga Sutra. Kavalam sir never said that he himself is a Sanskrit scholar. He never said about that. But I know personally that he had practical knowledge about Sanskrit. Then we were discussing a sutra from Yoga Sutram, Patanjali's Yoga Sutram. Kayarupa samyamat tadgrahi shakti stambhe chakshu prakasha samprayoge andarthanam. This sutra says about disappearing, the disappearance of an individual through the yogic process. So I am not going deeper into that sutra anyway. So when we were discussing, he was so excited, and Kavalam sir says this is the methodology for an actor to disappear in his character. See how he interpreted it. The character, the person disappears, and only the character is appear. So like this, I am not going deeper into it because that is another subject. Anyway, whatever he gets, he interpret it, he understand it for the purpose of presenting, enriching his theatre understanding for doing it on stage. Kavalam sir's contribution will remain, and I am sure the future generation has a lot to study from him. There is a tendency among the youngsters, among the researchers, to unnecessarily criticize the people who have walked ahead of us. No need to unnecessarily criticize them. It is the best to study them, to understand what they try to do, and learn whatever we can from their work, their contribution, and enrich our own contributions, our own life, our own understanding. In that sense, we have a lot to understand from Kavalam sir's work on this 4th anniversary, death anniversary of Shri Kavalam Narayana Panikker. I pay my respect, my Sashtanga Pranamam in front of Kavalam sir, and I appreciate the group Sopanam, who still continue the legacy of their master through still continuing their performances and their activities. Namaskaram.